Welcome to the Getting Real with Hilary show, where ordinary heroes tell extraordinary stories during unique and never been heard before conversations with your host, Hilary Arno Burns. Hilary's unique listening and way of asking questions results in conversations that aren't usually talked about, so you can create the life that you really want but are afraid you can't really have. We are demonstrating the greatness in the human spirit and creating a world where we all reclaim our birthright of joy, happiness, purpose, and passion. Now, here's your host, Hilary Arno Burns. Welcome to the Getting Real with Hilary show, and today we have a very special guest. We have Keyvan Billou. And he's going to tell you all about what he does because he could say it better than me, but he's a young, very successful 20-year-old who I think will inspire you. Welcome, Kavon.
Thank you, Hilary.
Right?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes. So I know, can I say I know your mother? I know his mother, who's also been on the show, Heather Shapter.
Oh, she has? Oh, yeah. Didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I
You gotta watch her episode.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch it for sure.
Yeah, it was a while ago, but she's awesome, right? She does amazing stuff in Africa with the women there. Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, very cool. So, okay. All right. So I know what you do, but how can you just go on and say how you got into I'll call it the training business? Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I've always been into fitness and working out my entire life. I remember when I was very young, maybe 5 or 6 years old, I was obsessed with having a six-pack, having abs. So I remember waking up at maybe like 5 or 6 in the morning and just doing these ab workouts before school.
At 5 or 6?
Yeah, at 5 or 6, just because I was like obsessed with having a six-pack. And I remember I would do these workouts. Sorry?
How did you even know about a six-pack at 5 or 6?
Honestly, I'm
someone you know have one?
I don't remember.
Dad have one?
And my dad did. Yeah, that's probably why, actually. My dad used to be a personal trainer too, so that's likely where the love for working out came from. And then I remember I would ask my mom at night, like, when your like parents putting you to bed, I would say, do I have a six-pack yet? Like, what do you think? She'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if you can have a six-pack when you're 6 years old, but it didn't matter. I kept trying, kept going at it. And then
how many years? How many years?
Up until now, 14 years.
So you never stopped? So what were you doing? Sit-ups and stuff?
Yeah, just sit-ups and stuff, different things. Over the years, it's changed what the exercises I've been doing. But that's partly what got me into doing what I'm doing now. Is all the ab training I was doing it in an incorrect way that was bad for my spine.
Oh.
I ended up hurting my back, and that led me to meet my boss, Amer Kamra, who had a similar back issue to me and then helped me with my back. And initially when I went to him, I was just planning on helping heal my back. And then I started training with him. I was a client of his for a while. He was training me in person. And then eventually I started working for him at his gym, Hammer Fitness, which does in-person training and then also online coaching as well.
So, wow. All right. So can you tell people what you were doing that was hurting your back? Because I'm sure most of us do that and have bad backs. What kind of things were you doing?
Well, I was just moving through basically different ranges in my spine that I wasn't, I shouldn't have been moving through. Yeah, a whole lot of different exercises. It was really just doing too many ab exercises and doing exercises that weren't very good for my spine and doing them in a way that wasn't very good. And then I learned, okay, so the better way to do an ab exercise is to very slowly sort of round your spine like this. That way, there's not too much pressure on one vertebrae. All the different vertebrae are sort of getting equal pressure, where I was doing it in a way where I was like folding at one vertebrae. So that one vertebrae was getting all of the stress and all of the damage. And you don't feel it in the moment when you're doing it. You only feel it after hundreds or thousands of improper repetitions.
Wow.
So how did he fix it?
Well, first he taught me what I was doing wrong. He said,
Okay.
You're training your abs like an idiot." And then he taught me how to do it properly.
Oh.
And then we just focus on strengthening the muscles in my lower back and all the other muscles around your spine, like your adductors, your hip flexors. Because yeah, fixing your back pain doesn't just come from the muscles in your lower back, it comes from all the different muscles that are attached to your spine. People don't realize that a lot of muscles in your lower body are attached to your spine and have a very big influence on whether you're going to have back pain or not. So he just helped me figure out all these different muscles that were extremely weak and had me strengthen them. And then over time, my back got a lot better, and now my back doesn't really hurt at all. Just if I'm training my back, it's going to get sore because it should get sore.
Wow. So, and how did you find him?
So my dad was training with him already. My dad was trying to lose weight, and Amer helped him lose weight. And then my dad said, "Hey, this guy would be good for you to go to," after having gone to many different chiropractors, which I found didn't do much. I did have one chiropractor who I found quite helpful, but he wasn't as helpful as Amer was, because yeah, I would attribute my the healing of my back pain to Amer for sure.
How do you spell Amer?
Amer.
Okay. But
And then his last name is Kamra, Kamra.
Okay.
He's pretty popular in the bodybuilding community. Like, a lot of bodybuilders know him. Today there's a bodybuilding show that he has athletes competing at. So I'll go with him to these I don't go with him, but I go to support his athletes. And then if I'm there with him and we're talking, there's always people that come up and say how they're such big fans of his. Yeah.
Like just in Canada or everywhere?
I've only been with him to one show outside of Canada in the US, and I saw that happen there too. So yeah, in the US it happened as well.
So he created Hammer, just taking off from his name, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, his Instagram is Amer the Hammer. So
oh, okay,
it's his nickname, and I think that's how he came up with the name Hammer Fitness. I have to assume.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Because I figure when you were saying Amer, I'm like, okay, but it's Hammer. So how do you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why. All right, cool. All right, so he fixed. Now, did anyone else realize what you were doing with the ab stuff to say, hey, you should stop that? Like, did anyone else besides him recognize that?
Yeah, that chiropractor I said it was good. He did as well, but he didn't really help me strengthen my back. So I did stop. I didn't really stop. I slowed it down because I still like doing it the way I was doing it. So I didn't fully take his advice. But the main difference with Amer was he told me, okay, so you need to stop doing that, but you need to start doing this now to prevent your back from getting injured in the future.
And why is he so good? How does he know all that? Did he study it or just,
Yeah, he studied it. He has he's definitely spent a lot of time studying it, and not in school, on his own. So he never went to school for any of this. He went to school for architecture, actually.
Oh.
And but he's went to a lot of courses, and he's done a lot of studying on his own to obtain all of this knowledge.
Yeah, because it seems like some people they just get it. Like, they intuitively understand the body and how it works and the intricacies of it, and they, you know what I mean? They don't just it's like you can go to someone. Well, let's talk about hair. I've had hair colorists who just screw it up every time. They don't understand how it works. The one I have now does. She just it's intuitive. Do you know what I mean? So I think some people intuitively understand the body so they can really look, versus just hodgepodge, try this, try that, and they don't, like some trainers might not be as good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was the main difference with him, is I didn't feel like he was running off of a script, or he was running off of just a series of tests. He was based on everything he found there was now a reaction to do something different. Okay, this is hurting you here. Okay, that means we need to do this now.
Right.
It wasn't like he didn't come in with a script ahead of time saying, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and this, and then we'll figure out the problem. No, okay, once we do this test, now that could take me down a completely different path with you to figure out what we need to do exactly.
Okay. Right. So you started with him. How old were you then?
At that time, I was 18. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe 17 actually. 17 or 18, yeah.
So not that long ago. Okay. And you had said before that that you were an athlete, right? What sports
Yeah.
did you play?
So
And
I was playing soccer and basketball, mainly soccer. That was my main sport. So soccer, I played probably from 4 or 5 years old, and the last couple of years I was playing soccer, I ended up being the captain of my team. So there's a school team, your high school, you play on the team, and then there's also a team outside of your high school, your club team. So at the time, for whatever reason, both coaches, they don't know each other, but they both thought I was worthy of being the captain of the team. So I ended up being the captain of both teams at the same time.
wow.
Which I liked a lot. And the skills that you need to practice, the characteristics that you need to display when you're a captain, that helps me a lot with what I'm doing now when it comes to coaching people and helping them change their body.
And what would you say those are?
Well, first of all, it's just figuring out the way that people need to be spoken to. Everyone needs a different approach and a different method. So the way I'm going to talk to one person is going to be very different from the way I talk to another person. And that just comes from me sort of assessing the way they respond to different things I say, or the tone I use. Not everyone is going to receive the message from you. What matters, what I realize, is not the way that, like, what you're trying to get across, it's the way you're saying it. That's what matters more than the message itself. So if you can't say things in a way that resonates with the person, it doesn't matter how good your message is, they won't get it.
Right. Wow. Well, that's, some people don't get that ever. Like they just, I don't know if they call that emotional. I don't know what they call it, but it's called people skills.
Yeah.
That you are, A, aware of it, and B, that you've learned that at such a young age is incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm definitely still getting better at it, but yeah, it's something I'm actively working on. But I think I've improved a lot at it since becoming the captain of that soccer team. I've seen a big improvement with myself.
yeah. Wow. Woo. Okay. So, all right. So that was 17. You started with him. When did you decide you wanted to be a trainer?
I had thought about it, I'd say around 17, because I realized I wasn't into soccer too much anymore, and I wanted to step away from soccer. But I remember I was a bit nervous to step away from it. I didn't really want to, because I felt like I would be letting people down from stepping away from soccer, because my whole life I had sort of talked about and said that I would be a soccer player. So I kind of felt like I was letting myself down a little bit, and other people. And it was a little bit embarrassed almost too to say these things and now to not follow through on it. And
like your parents, did you feel like you were letting them down?
parents, not really, more other people, to be honest.
Like who? Like your coach or
Coach, teammates, friends.
You thought originally you would be a professional soccer player?
That was my goal, yeah.
But
then
so what happened? You just were tired? I mean, if you started at 4 or 5, that's a long time, right? Did you just get burnt out, kind of?
I got tired of it, and then I found my love for the gym, working out. I started enjoying working out in the gym more than playing soccer. So I thought I could do something with this because of how much I love it. It wouldn't really feel like work if I could do something with this. And then I remember in my grade 12 year, they offered a kinesiology course. So I took that course. I did pretty well. I was one of the top grades in my class. And I didn't do that in other classes. I wasn't bad, but I definitely wasn't the top of any other classes. So there was something with kinesiology. I was pretty good at it. Kinesiology is the study of human movement, for anyone who doesn't know. And so yeah, it's just all about anatomy, just understanding biomechanics, and these things really help with what I'm doing now. And yeah, from that point, I realized I want to do something with this. And then I was talking to Amer about what I wanted to do, because I was planning on going to university, and then we had talked about me starting to work for him, and then I said yes, and then I ended up not going to university and started working at Hammer Fitness.
Wow. Now, did you already get into the university and stuff like that, or did you not apply? Yes?
Yeah, I got into a few universities, so I was planning on going to Western University
Okay.
for kinesiology. I
Oh.
applied to a few different ones, and I got into almost all of them. I think maybe there's one I didn't get into. I think maybe U of T, kinesiology, I didn't get into. But I didn't want to go there too much anyways, because I wanted to get away from Toronto. But I ended up staying here anyways, so yeah, so then I was planning to go to Western, I got accepted, and then I ended up I guess declining the acceptance after all.
So what was that decision like? What had you decide that way? Like,
Well, first, the environment was very good for me. I realized everyone there was extremely disciplined. And
at Hammer Fitness.
At Hammer Fitness, yeah, exactly. Not at Western, definitely not.
Right. So, but you didn't think, oh, let me study kinesiology for 4 years and then I'll be even more trained? You didn't think that was, I'm not saying you should have. I'm just wondering what your thought process was.
No, for sure. It's definitely a fair question. I did think that before he offered me the job. I didn't think I would be. I tend to doubt myself. I find I usually think I'm worse than I am. But I think that's a good quality for me, because I ended up doing better, because I'm always thinking, okay, I need to be better than I am. And I thought, okay, there's no way I could work here, because I don't think I'm not qualified enough. And he asked me if I wanted to start working there, and I was a little shocked. And then once I started working there and I started talking to people, I asked people, like, what did you guys study? And there was very few people who ever studied kinesiology, but they knew a lot more than other people I talked to who did study kinesiology. Because, well, I think the experience of actually working with people does a lot more for you than just reading it in a book.
Right.
Like, if I read how to drive a car, are you going to let me drive your car if I've never driven a car? Probably not, right? So I think
what kind of car it is.
it depends what kind of car it is, yeah. So
Yeah. Wow.
I talked to a lot of people there who had studied kinesiology, and they told me that it didn't help them that much, and that you didn't really need it if you just
Okay.
you work hard and you're motivated at learning things on your own, and you really spend a lot of time here. You'll do quite well. And that's what I did when I first got there and I started working there. Even now, I still spend quite a bit of time at the gym, but I was there every day from probably 6 a.m. until about 8 or 9 p.m. a lot of days.
What were you doing? Were you working?
Like reading, studying. I was shadowing one of the trainers there who was quite busy, doing anywhere from 8 to 12 clients a day. So there was a lot of hours where I was just shadowing him and learning from him. Vlad is his name. So he was kind enough to allow me to shadow him. And then when I had questions in between his clients, he would answer any of the questions that I had. So like when I was shadowing him, I'm not just watching, I was taking notes. And then I would ask him about some of the notes I took, like, why'd you do this way? Why'd you do it that way?
And that was interesting. You weren't bored. You were like fascinated? Like,
oh, it's fascinating. There's so many things that I'd never heard of before that he was saying to people and that he taught me. So,
wow.
yeah.
So how long did they have you shadowing before you could start doing it?
I think I was shadowing for about 6 weeks every
That's
day.
all? Wow.
Yeah. So for every day the amount of hours I was doing it
No, I know that's a lot, and then you started having your own clients already?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have many clients at the start, right? So I sort of had to build it up.
Yeah.
So
you
after
could ask, like, if you had a question, you could ask someone.
Yeah, for sure. Even now, to this day, we still are a collaborative team. Different people have different expertises. So some people will be really good with one thing. I can ask them what their thoughts are. Yeah. But yeah, after the 6 weeks, then I started having my own clients from that point. And then, yeah, I've been working there since then.
Wow. And you still love it?
I still love it for sure, yeah.
What is the part you love?
Well, the biggest thing for me, the reason I do it is I want to see people's bodies in their lives change. I don't really like just training people. That's not I do like training people, but that's not the thing I do it for. It's to actually see the results from the training and from the coaching. So it's to see somebody, whether it's losing a bunch of weight or putting on muscle and just really loving the way that they look. They tell you about how their pants are fitting better. They tell you how their friends are saying all these things. Their family is saying how good they look. People at work are saying how good they look. They say they feel more energized. All these different things they're very fulfilling to hear that that you've made that difference in somebody else's life. So,
oh, I keep wanting to ask you this. I'm forgetting. Do you have the 6-pack you were after?
I think I probably don't, because I'll always think, okay, it could be a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, probably my goal when I was 5 years old, I reached that, but now it's like it's a different goal, right? Every time you reach the goal, the goalposts keep moving further and further away. So,
Now, did you ever do any kind of competing or anything with the weights or whatever you do?
yeah, so there's like bodybuilding competitions. I've never done a bodybuilding competition, but I'd like to do one at some point to get an understanding of what it's like, because my gym, although we do work with a lot of lifestyle clients, we also work with bodybuilders as well. It's mainly lifestyle clients, but there are some bodybuilders. And it's pretty impressive to see the transformation that they go through and the kind of suffering that they go through. Like, I've heard of people doing up to 3 hours of cardio a day on the Stairmaster. If you ever use the Stairmaster, it's definitely not an easy thing to do, even for 20 minutes, but let alone 3 hours, while eating very low amount of calories to get them to the position they need to be in. So I'd be interested to know what that process is like. However, that is only necessary for someone who hasn't been working with their coach for very long, because they have a very let's say a slow metabolism, or they have more body fat to lose than they ideally should.
So
Yeah.
are you do you recommend that someone does that 3 hours? Like, who does that?
So you would only do that if you had just started working with your coach and your metabolism is quite slow, and your coach doesn't understand how to get your metabolism to the point it needs to be at, or you just haven't been with him for enough time for him to do that for you. Because with the clients, my boss, he deals with all the bodybuilders. With the clients he's had for a very long time, they do not do a lot of cardio, because they're already in a pretty good position before the show, where they don't have to do a lot of cardio, because their metabolisms are already pretty quick. So all he really needs to do is add a little bit of cardio while starting to pull down their food. Whereas some people, their metabolisms are a bit slower, and they end up needing to do a little bit more cardio and eat a lot less food. And you can change someone's metabolism, but there's also a genetic component too, which we can't dismiss or overlook. That does play a big role in someone's metabolism as well. But there are a lot of things you can do to speed up or slow down your metabolism without realizing, or while realizing, depending on what your goal is when you're dieting or when you're working out, what you're sort of working towards.
And how do you know what their metabolism is? Like, how do you know they have a slow one?
Well, we can figure it out by understanding, by basically giving them a certain amount of food to eat, and then seeing how their weight changes and how their body changes through weight and through photos, and then also looking at how much activity they're doing per day. So for example, like one of my clients, he started off with me only eating about 2 meals per day, and he was overweight. He wanted to lose weight and he wanted to put on some muscle. These 2 meals were maybe around 1,400, 1,500 calories for
Altogether.
altogether for the whole day. That's how much he's eating. And this is a maybe 42-year-old man. He is about 150, 160 pounds when we started together. And then now he's in, as you can see in the photo, he's in really great shape. He has a 6-pack. and he's eating around 3,600 calories per day now while doing zero cardio.
What? 3,600 calories a day?
Yeah, 3,600 calories. Yeah, it's quite a bit.
So how did you speed him up? That's amazing.
Well,
so when he was doing 1,400 to 1,500, which is what people think they should eat to lose weight, he wasn't. And now he's having 3,600 and not gaining or anything.
Right now we're in what we'd call a reverse diet, or a muscle building phase. So in this phase, he's trying to put on weight, but he's having a hard time. He's complaining to me that the food's too much. It's a lot of food, I understand. So there's little things that we can do to make the food feel like less volume for him. But because his metabolism is quite fast, he's having a hard time gaining weight now. Even though his metabolism was super slow when we started together, just over a year ago in 2025, February.
And how did you speed it up again?
Yeah, so how I sped it up exactly, well, first he wasn't working out at the time, so he wasn't doing any resistance training. So we started resistance training. We started off with 2 times per week. I started even though he wanted to lose weight, I started him off eating more food than he was eating at the time. Because what this does, well, your body for most people will start to adapt to the amount of food that you're having. And it'll basically just speed up your metabolism. It's not going to happen in a day. It might not happen in a week, but it can take a couple weeks for the body to adjust and now basically have a new maintenance calories. So like, let's say 1,400 calories was his maintenance, and then we brought him up to around 1,900 calories as his maintenance, just by having him start the workouts and then giving him more food and having him follow that food consistently for a couple of weeks, and his body started to adapt and the metabolism started to speed up. And then once he started seeing the benefits of the workouts, not just the calories that were burned when working out, but the muscle that he added from the workout, that muscle is metabolically active, just meaning that it basically demands more calories than fat would. So 1 pound of muscle is going to cause your body to burn a lot more calories just to maintain that muscle than having 1 pound of fat, because it needs calories just to survive in your body. So the more muscle he built, the faster his metabolism got. And then just over the last, 14 months that we've been working together, he's been building more muscle. We've been slowly increasing his food, and then he's using that food as fuel for his workouts. So he's also just training harder in his workouts, burning more calories just from the activity of the workout itself. And
how many times does he work? You started him with 2 workouts a week.
2. So right now we're up to 4 times per week.
4.
Yeah. So we slowly went up eventually to 3 times and now 4 times per week. So yeah, with these 4 workouts per week, he's able to use all this food as fuel to fuel his workouts and to make sure that he's pushing himself as hard as he needs to. And like I said, not just to burn the calories in the workout. That's not the point of resistance training, although it does happen. You do burn calories when you're doing resistance training, or weight training, as most people call it. But he's also burning calories because he's building more muscle, and that's happening as a result of him keeping his training intensity high. And that's really the biggest benefit and the main driver when it comes to fat loss, is the amount of muscle you have and your metabolism. So however much cardio you're going to do, unless you're doing a very extreme amount of cardio, for most people, the calories you're burning in a day, maybe 10 to 20% of that is cardio, while the maybe 40 to 50% of that is going to just be from your metabolism.
Wow. And is he happy with it, with his progress?
Yeah, he's happy. He's very happy. So he wants to just continue right now to build muscle. And it's like I said, it's a bit of a, I don't want to say a struggle, but it's a bit of a challenge because it's hard to eat all that food. It's quite a bit of food for him.
What kind of food is he eating?
Right now he's mainly eating ground beef, rice, Greek yogurt, protein powder, granola, sweet potato, eggs, things like this. Whereas before he was eating pretty differently. he was having a lot more, like, I guess you could say junk food, going out to eat a lot more, just because it was more convenient. And then after we were able to have him change over from eating the kind of foods he was having before to more whole foods, that also helped quite a bit with having him get to where he is today, just from changing his food sources.
And he was willing to do it.
He was willing to do it. Yeah, he was definitely willing to do it. He understood that his health wasn't where he wanted it to be, and he knew this is what was necessary.
And is he married? Did he have to?
He's married, yeah. So his wife actually ended up not working with me, but working with someone else from our gym.
Oh.
And I'm not too sure what her results are like. I just know that she started working with someone after seeing his change.
So that makes it easier if the whole house is doing it.
Yeah, it makes it much easier. It's quite a challenge for people, I find. If you are trying really hard to make a change and your partner isn't, and is not only are they not doing it, but they're kind of, maybe they're judging, but they're also sort of tempting you and asking you, oh, have this.
Yeah.
And they almost feel a little bad because they feel like, oh, or is he or she trying to get better than me? Are they going to get in better shape than me and then leave me? Like, these are all things that I've heard from people and that people have said to me before that they're worried about. And yeah, that's really the hardest thing I find for most people is their environment when it comes to changing their body. It's their friends and their family. I always tell people when I start working with them, you should not tell your friends what you're doing. You should keep that to yourself because it's not going to help you. Because, well, if they're coming to me, that probably means they're not where they want to be. And you're likely going to have friends that are also not where you want to be. There's a reason those are your friends, because you guys are similar, right? So you guys are all going to look similar too. So if you now tell these people...
Is that true? Is that what you found?
I found for most people, yeah. For most people, you're going to look, in terms of like your body, it's probably going to be pretty similar to most of the people that you spend the most time with.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think
interesting.
Say like the 5 people you spend the most time with, you're the average of those 5 people, right?
Money. I've only heard it in finances. I've never heard it in like weight or.
Well, I think it's true with everything, honestly.
Yeah. Well, if you're a drinker, if your friends drink.
Yeah. How are you going to drink, right?
Yeah. That it's normal.
Yeah, exactly. It's normalized. So
yeah. Wow.
I think it's just human nature that we're going to compare ourselves to other people when we're with them, when they're telling us things that they're doing. We're going to start to compare. We're going to look at ourselves, and we're going to compare ourselves to our friends and the people that we see ourselves as equal to. Like, I'm not going to be, if somebody who's 30 or 40 years older than me tells me how much money they have, I'm not going to feel badly about myself because they've had so much more time to accumulate their wealth. Whereas someone who's 20 tells me they have 2 or 3 times as much money as I have, I'm going to start thinking, okay, what am I doing wrong here? Right? Or if like one of my friends says that, I'm going to think the same thing. So the same thing if now one of my clients tells their friends, hey, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to change my body. I want to get in really good shape. When people do this, most of the time their friends start discouraging them. They're not happy for them. I find almost every time someone has told me they've done this, they always tell me a bad reaction from their friends. And
wow.
It's unfortunate, but this is the way, like, just the way that I think we're wired as humans.
Well, have you heard the thing with the crabs in the bucket?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I've heard that. It's exactly the same thing, the same analogy, right? When the crab starts to leave the bucket, they try to pull the crab back down, right?
Yeah. They want them to stay at their level. They don't want them to, yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right. We have to, I hate to interrupt, but we have to take our commercial break.
Oh, yeah.
Right back with some more case studies. This is fascinating. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And here's a word from our sponsors.
What if school could be a place where every child feels safe to be themselves? Right now, kids are growing up in a complicated world. They're learning how to listen, how to care, and how to find their voice. Kokori's daily digital calendar of research-backed lessons helps children build confidence, empathy, and resilience through joyful play-based learning. When children feel connected and supported, they don't just learn more, they grow into kinder, braver humans. Kokori, helping kids grow together.
Hey, it's Hilary from the Getting Real with Hilary show. Life can be messy, raw, and real. And sometimes we're afraid to feel vulnerable. We're afraid to be that real self. Well, that's exactly what the Getting Real with Hilary show and Getting Real movement is all about. Being our true selves. Every week, I bring you stories of transformation, authenticity, and hope. People getting real with their struggles, their faith, and their breakthroughs. So don't miss a thing. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter today. You'll get stories, links to everything new, and how to create a life you love every week directly to your inbox. You can also find my books on Amazon. My courageous and riveting memoir, The Second Piece of French Toast, in case you feel stuck in your life and want to get inspired. How I came out about my no sex life and my marriage, and my second book, Real Talk. That one will get you speaking up in ways you've been too afraid to do so, and really creating amazing freedom. And my third book, How to Stop Fixing Yourself and Start Having Fun, the name is called Your Bullshit is Your Blessing. Find links to everything and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Getting Real with Hilary, and you'll find the links in the header. So, visit, and you can also visit gettingrealwithhilary.com because the real you is worth it and wants to come out. All right. And thank you, as always, to our sponsors. We appreciate your support in making this show possible. So you've seen the commercials from some of them, and then you see the logos going underneath our faces. And we thank everybody again for their support. And back to this fascinating young man, Keyvan Billou.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
And the Billou is Billou, just so you can see it under his name. Okay. All right, cool. Is that French? I always wanted to ask you. Is it French?
You know, I'm not French, but many people have asked me that. It must be somehow French, but I'm not French.
Okay. But that's your dad's last name, right? That's
my dad. Yeah, he's Persian, so part Persian and Russian. So I'm not sure how we got this last name, but somehow we did.
And what's your mom?
My mom, she's born in Canada. I think she has some maybe British great grandparents.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, all right, we're gonna look at some more photos, but I have some questions, but I can't find them. Oh, okay. Is most of your work done in person?
When I first started, it was. Now it's a mix of in person and online.
Okay. And this was a question. Can anyone not? Does that make sense?
Can anyone not?
Yeah, I don't know what that referred to. All right. If it comes to me, I'll ask you again. Can anyone not? I don't know.
Okay.
Can anyone not? No idea. All right. I should have asked it earlier when I remembered. Okay. All right. So do you have more pictures we can look at? So that was that guy, right?
Yeah, so that was the 42-year-old. Now this is definitely a different place in his life. So this is at the time when we started together. In this photo, he was 17.
Okay.
So here he's around 195, 200 pounds. He doesn't have very much muscle on him. He's not really working out. He's eating quite a bit of junk food. He drinks. And then in this other photo, he's 18. He's lost quite a bit of body fat, and he has a lot more muscle on him, and he's a lot happier with the way that he looks. And
So
for him
how
as well,
long? What was the time frame? Was it a full year?
yeah, I would say I think about between a year and a year and a half, around
Okay.
there.
Wow.
Close to a year and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we started September 2024, and then this photo would be from February of 2026.
Okay.
So around a year and a half. Yeah,
Wow.
pretty big change from him. The biggest thing was just changing his habits and again speeding up his metabolism, because in this photo on the left, he's although he's eating quite a bit of junk food, he's not eating that much food relative to where he's eating now. I mean, at the most amount of food we got to, he was eating well over 4,000 calories per day. And then again, he was complaining quite a bit about how much food it was and that it was hard for him to maintain. And I don't just want to push the calories up. That's not my goal. It's always an ongoing assessment of the person I'm dealing with and seeing what their body responds to each week. And then I notice if I don't keep giving him more food, he's not going to continue to gain weight, because his body is, not only is his metabolism fast, but his body is adapting quickly. So let's say if 1 week
Is that because, I mean, that seems like so much food. Is that because he has more muscle that he needs more? Like, what is
that's part of it. That's part of the muscle. Yeah,
so much
definitely
food?
part of the muscle. He's also training a lot. He likes to train every day.
Okay.
7 days a week. So his body needs that just to recover from the workouts, to give him energy for the workouts, a lot of carbohydrates to push himself hard in the workouts. And
he's doing those 7 days, he's doing the weights.
Resistance training. Yeah. He's not doing any cardio at the moment. Wow. He's just doing the resistance training. At one point he was doing cardio. He was doing, he was definitely doing cardio. I think he got up to maybe 30 to 35 minutes per day was the highest we got to, with a step goal for him.
And how long is he doing resistance training every day? Like, would you say?
Every day? He's probably been doing that for 8 months. Before he was doing
like how long? Like an hour?
Oh, yeah, about an hour per day. That's it.
Wow.
An hour.
And he likes it?
Yeah, he loves it. I didn't recommend he works out every single day, just because in terms of recovery, it's for some people it's not going to be the best. I mean, it depends on how your body responds, but I do find for him his body responds quite well to training every day. So I told him, just keep doing it, because you're eating enough food where you're able to recover from the workouts, and your body's growing at a pretty good rate as well. So like I was saying about when it comes to increasing the food, so his body, the metabolism is fast, but let's say he's eating 3,200 calories 1 week. If I kept that for 2 weeks in a row, he would start to lose weight and come down in weight, because his body would adapt, and it would basically make 3,200 calories a deficit for him. So that's why I need to keep increasing the food. And he wasn't going up in weight at a fast rate while I'm increasing the food for him. So that's why I just kept increasing.
You can see him building muscle. You
can see him building muscle while putting on some body fat as well. But he's definitely building muscle and getting bigger. And this comes from, of course, the food, but then also his training is intense. We've trained in person together, and we've gone over his training to make sure that he's able to maintain high intensity and to show him how to train with a high intensity consistently.
And is he a virtual otherwise, or he's an in-person?
He started off as virtual, and occasionally he comes in person, but I didn't meet him in person until about a year after we started together, when he'd already made quite a bit of change.
So how do you get these clients if they're virtual? How do they find you?
A lot of them from social media or just referrals from other clients. Cool. Yeah, so he was a referral from a client.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? You've only been doing this, what, 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah.
You're already getting referrals. So what is your social media handle? How can people find you?
It's just first name dot last name, so Keyvan.Billou.
Okay.
That's Instagram. Yeah.
On Instagram. Are you on anything else?
That's what I mainly use Instagram right now.
Okay, cool. You like doing it? You like making the posts?
Yeah, I like making Instagram content for sure. I think It's valuable for people, and yeah, I think people get something out of it. So I like it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else about him?
So yeah, about my client, he's 18 years old now. Yeah, there's not too much else to say. Well, I mean, one I could use these two as an example. So the 42-year-old and the 18-year-old, because they're at very different points in their life. One of them's married, runs a business, while the other one's in high school and doesn't have very much or any responsibility. They value different things, so they need to be spoken to in different ways, and I need to come to both of them with different expectations. Where the guy who's married, I have a little bit lower expectations of him because I understand he's quite busy with his business, his wife. He has a lot more excuses that he can sort of go to if he's not able to complete something. I understand. Whereas the 18-year-old, I don't really give him, because I know how serious he is and that he really wants to see this change for himself. I don't really there's no reason for him to not do the things that he's going to do because he has a lot of free time. He goes to school, he does play some sports here and there, but really I hold him to a higher standard, and I speak to him a little bit differently than I'm speaking to the 42-year-old, because I find they both respond to things differently. Yeah, so another thing I forgot to mention when it comes to metabolism, so both of these guys, they're quite different in weight. So in both of their photos, they're about 40 pounds, 30 pounds apart. And they are eating way more food than they should be at their weight and their age. If you look online and you look up, let's say 42-year-old at 130, 140 pounds, how much should they be eating? It's probably going to tell you a male that's like this height, whatever, however tall he is, it's probably going to say around 2,000, 2,200 calories. My other client, it might tell the younger guy who weighs around 160, 170 pounds, it might tell you that he should eat about 25 to 2,800 calories to maintain their weight. But these numbers are just like an average calories for somebody at this age and this height. They are not true for everyone. So that's something that's unique about what I do is, well, everything is personalized to you and to your body. Everything is based on what you respond to. It's not based on what the internet or ChatGPT tells me you should be doing, or how many calories you should be eating. Because if that was the case, people would not get results, because everyone is extremely different. Not just because of their genetics, but also based on their dieting history, because you can also slow down your metabolism the same way you can speed it up if you do the opposite. If you starve yourself for many years, like I'm working with someone now who she's had an eating disorder before. She's definitely not eaten a lot of food in her past, and she cannot eat a lot of food because her metabolism is super slow. Even though she trains, she has muscle, but the way she dieted in the past, her very extreme low calorie dieting, caused her to just have her metabolism be very slow. So
how old is she?
She's in her 40s.
Okay.
So for her to even eat 1,600 calories would be a big surplus for her, and she would put on a lot of body fat. Whereas somebody else at her exact same age, 1,600 calories could be a very big deficit for them, just based on their history. So everything is about assessing the person that I'm working with. And then
have you been able to speed up her metabolism?
I haven't been working with her for too long, but I've seen a little bit of change, but to be honest, not too much so far.
And do you think you can?
I think it can go up slightly, but it won't go up a lot, just because of how long she has done what she's done to herself. It's sort of damaged her body, and it's damage that cannot be fully reversed. I think it can improve, but it won't it'll never get to the same spot as someone who didn't do the things she did.
Is that because you said she had an eating disorder, right? So and I interviewed someone who that's her specialty, and she was saying that she was talking about the damage that does to the brain and all, like, just so many things. I don't think people, I think, you know, at least for me growing up, it was like, you know, the less you eat, the better.
Yeah.
We were never taught if you don't eat enough, you're going to damage yourself. Do you know what I mean? It was always like less is better. I mean, I hope that the education of people changes and they realize that that's not healthy and it's going to mess you up. I don't think any of us knew that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
She also said that more, I think, teens die of eating disorders than anything else.
Oh, really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. I wouldn't think that. Yeah.
Because she said that when they're not getting the nutrition, because I said, how can they not see that they're starving themselves? And she said, because it damages their brain, so they can't see it. I mean, it's scary. I think it's very scary. Anyway, okay, back to you. So go ahead. Okay, so you were talking about the one with who had slowed down her metabolism, and
yeah, just to say, everyone is going to be in a different position when I start working with them, and that these numbers that you find online, that's why when people tell me, why should I pay you if I can just find these numbers online? Because the numbers, first of all, the numbers aren't going to be accurate for you. I mean, you can also figure it out yourself anyways, how many calories you need. You start eating, you track your weight, you see how your weight responds to the amount of calories you're eating, and then you can figure out, okay, this is my maintenance calories, and then you can increase or decrease the calories from there. But then you also need to understand, okay, how much should I increase by? What should I increase? Because it's a big difference if I'm increasing protein versus fats versus carbs. These are all going to have different influences on your body, and it's going to change the way that your body ends up looking. So
how did you learn what to recommend to people? Was that from the guys you were shadowing? Like, did you learn? Like, did they have a training program? How did you understand that so well?
Yeah, so from the guys I was shadowing, people I was working with, also just from reading books online from people who are very knowledgeable in the field, and just in the fitness space, and then putting it into practice with people and seeing how people respond. My approach today, I know, will be very different in 1 year from now, because I'm going to learn a lot in the next year. I'm going to work with different people, and I'm going to see different responses from people, and that's then going to change the way I approach things with people. Because even just from 6 months ago, I do things a little bit differently than I did 6 months ago. I think maybe some people might look at that as a bad thing, like, oh, okay, why you don't have one approach that you go by. But I think it's necessary to just keep evolving and keep looking for ways to improve. Right? The underlying sort of rules will be the same. That I'm always trying to get people in, like, have them reach their goals, always trying to do things in the safest and most healthy way possible. But the way we're getting there might be different over time, as I learn ways to get there more efficiently as time goes on.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. All right, can you believe we just have a couple minutes left? So, all right. So what would you like to leave people with? I want to make sure they can find you. I know they can find you on Instagram, Keyvan.Billou. What message would you like to leave, and how can they reach you to, talk about hiring you?
Yeah. So on Instagram, like you mentioned, Keyvan.Billou is where you can find me and message me. But really, the main message and the main issue I find with people trying to get in good shape is that there's so many different ways to do it, and there's so many different people that you can learn from online, and I'm now another person that you can learn from and listen to online, a different approach that you can take. But the difference is I find in my approach versus other people, what everyone says, they customize their plan to their client. Everybody says that, but not many people actually mean it. Most people mean it by, oh, I'll give you foods that you like, or I'll give you exercises that you like. But the difference is with what I'm doing is, well, I'm actually looking at your body, looking at how you respond to things, and figuring out based on your response what you need. So that's what is going to get you results, is to actually see how the body responds and make changes based on based on what your body tells you to change, not based on just numbers that you found online, and things, that people told you to do on social media. And the other thing is that there's no shortcut and there's no quick fix, and there's no shiny object that's going to get you to where you want to get to. Because nowadays there's a lot of people that talk about things like peptides and different supplements that you should take that are going to help you lose weight. But at the end of the day, the thing that matters most is that you're building healthy habits, you're eating the right foods, and you're just building a better relationship with food overall, and with exercise, and with just walking every day. These are the things, the foundation that is going to get you to where you want to get to. It's not these peptides that you saw or that you bought from someone on Instagram. These things can get you results in the short term, but in the long term, they're not going to get you there. So really the main thing is you have to turn it into a lifestyle if you want to not only get results, but keep them. It needs to be not something you think about as a month or 2 month or 3 month diet. It needs to be something that you think of as something you're going to do for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you're going to lose it after you get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom, and for your commitment to people and having them see results. It's very inspirational, especially at your ripe old age of 20. That's really incredible. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching this episode. I started getting real with Hilary when I discovered that I was a people-pleasing, pleasant phony and wanted to be more of my real self. We can grow together if you will like the show, subscribe to my channel, and share this episode with your friends and family so that we can have a world that's more real.